For life.
Yeah. Bullet cast. What's going on? Stacy. This elite podcast in here. Ain't nobody better. Look. Yeah. Listen to us every time we live in the side. When you turn it on, it's just defining the mind. If you feel it, our opinions is great. When everything we moving now in the state, turn us on. If the feeling is right, every opinion now comes from the heart. No time we move with a part. We on the radio, it's wrestling. Time's aggression. Here is the feeling in the prove. Get the lesson. And if you want to prove it to you now.
Yo, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is I, the microphone messiah, joined by Bulletcast of the Bank, Brandon Tanguma. It's just the two of us today. Like the old days, you know. Do you enjoy when it's just the two of us?
It's a great time, you know. We're back. The more things change, the more things stay the same, Phillip.
Yes. I got a lot to talk about this week. Big week. Let's get into it. So one thing that did happen on the SmackDown Go Home to Crown Jewel, B-Fab wanted to talk to Bobby Lashley. The Street Profits were like, oh, okay. Everybody's been talking about, Bianca Belair joining this faction, and then, with Jade Cargill signing with the company. B-Fab, that's something that nobody had been talking about, and honestly, it's different, and I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I mean, with the, I think she's an okay personality. If she were to join whatever the name of Lashley and the Street Profits thing is going to be, if there is even going to be a name, I think she, adds a nice dynamic. So I'm not opposed to it. She can be like the, oh my God, Alexa Lopez to the Legado del Fantasma back in the day, back in NXT days.
Possibly. Could she be, the Sherry Martel to their Harlem Heat of Jays?
Maybe. I mean,
and that just popped in my head. I don't know why I said that one. Yeah. Or what Zelina is the LWO.
Yeah, but I mean, Zelina is kind of more of a wrestler who happens, she's not like a full-blown equal, but, she's like a wrestler in the group. I think B-Fab kind of works better as like that Sherry Martel, kind of a manager, valet.
And she can cipher too. I've heard the raps, so we'll see. We'll see. Outside the ring, NXT lands a new home. It will no longer be on the USA Network as of, I believe, October of next year, 2024. It will land on the CW 44 Cable 12. That's the thing for the Bay. Shout out. Yeah, man. WWE, that's why big stars have been popping up. Where Dominic has the North American title, while Becky had the women's title, to get a big TV deal like this. And congrats to them. It's, I think, what the CW is in 100 million homes in the country, so that's a huge plus. Yeah, man. Wrestling on the CW, I know they've had WoW, and the NWA was supposed to go to the CW, but then on NWA's pay-per-view they had somebody snorting cocaine, so the CW said, we don't want none of that.
Shout out the Sinister Minister.
Yes. What are your thoughts on NXT going to the CW, man?
It's a big deal. I think with SmackDown moving to USA Network, we probably could have thought out that the USA wasn't going to keep everything. Like, it was, WWE's going to be shaking up a lot in the fall of 2024. So I wouldn't be shocked if Raw moves somewhere, if it's like to an ESPN or even to some sort of Warner property. But I mean, I haven't honestly thought about the CW since SmackDown was on there, back in the day, and apparently they're kind of.
When was SmackDown on the CW? Did you mean like UPN?
It was UPN and CW is kind of like the same thing. It kind of evolved, but they're. I guess they're kind of, because I don't really watch CW, to be honest, but I guess they're kind of evolving into kind of like a sports type of channel where they're doing, live golf. They're doing some college football stuff. They're doing like the second, the lower level NASCAR races. So
yeah,
I mean, it's good for them. And, as you said, CW, I mean, all-time bag fumble. Like we still don't know exactly what was going on in terms of like, if NXT was, NWA was going to be on CW, was NXT going to be there too? But I mean, this is kind of right up there, honestly, with like the Eric Koulis incident in ECW with the pay-per-views.
Yeah, I mean, It's interesting. CW. I mean, it's a nice property. I mean, they were really heavy on like the dramas with your Arrow and your Flash and things like that. And the pandemic hit, the money dried up, and everything like that. And what I think their biggest show is All American right now. And honestly, there's crossover potential. I mean, I could see Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes going for an episode or two to play a jock or something. I mean, when SmackDown was on Sci-Fi, you saw Edge crossover on a couple of those shows on that network. So this is you can see like Tiffany Stratton go play a sorority person on All American and things like that. So there's crossover potential, which is nice. And throw Chase U on All American. That's a home run uh, within itself. Yeah. So I mean, congrats to them, man. I'm excited to see what can happen and how they're gonna move forward. I don't know how long the deal is exactly, but this is a huge win for them. And then news broke after we had released our episode. Ric Flair has signed a multi-year deal with All Elite Wrestling. We always thought Flair, such a WWE lifer and everything that he did for the company and Vince did for him and yada yada yada. With Charlotte being a top star there and has been for the last few years, you just thought he would, stay there and pop in and out. But that he hasn't really been on TV. I mean, his last really recurring active thing was when he was running with Orton a couple years ago during the pandemic, which I thought was really cool and they should have done more with. But yeah, Nate's just going to be sticking around in AEW. You think we're getting a Ric Flair?
I mean, I saw something that like he's cleared to wrestle. I didn't like click on the link or whatever, but
I listened.
That doesn't happen.
I listened to what the Breakfast Club. He's on the Breakfast Club. Shout out Charlamagne the God, and he said he feels fine. He said he could wrestle. Yes. Look, man.
I mean, it's an interesting deal. But and also like just technically speaking, because I guess there's some sort of like workaround with his Woo energy drinks to where they're paying a majority of the contract, so AEW is not on the hook for that much. It's kind of like a brand partnership type deal for possibly like merch and stuff. But I mean, it's a weird thing. I mean, when he brought him out for Sting,
put him with Max, put him with MJF.
But then also like when Tony Khan is out there on Twitter getting on his high horse talking about the indiscretion, sexual, things that Vince has done. I mean, Rick isn't immune to all that. And it's like, okay, if you don't throw stones in glass houses. And I think that's kind of coming around to Tony right now.
With this man, like hold on, let me pull up the thing, because this best describes AEW at this current state and time. Baby Huey said,
and then Ric Flair even said something like, "Oh man, I think it was on like Observer or something." He was like, "Oh, there's a lot of AEW guys or a lot of WWE guys there," and it's like, Rick, you're kind of saying the quiet part out loud. Like we're kind of seeing that AEW slowly turn it into like WWE light right now.
So no, this was sent to me, and it says AEW started out as NXT on steroids, became late WCW, and now is creeping into 2010's TNA, which. Say what you will, bro. Look, I don't know. I don't know, man. I mean, I say my things about AEW, but at the end of the day, you want them to win. Ric Flair's a name. He'll put eyes on their product. Put him with a younger talent. Like have him run around with Max. Have the greatest world champion of all time show Max how to be a world champion. You know what I'm saying? Like, why not?
So now that Rick is kind of officially left WWE for who knows, you said multi-year. Does this open the door? I know SAG-AFTRA just kind of came to an agreement, so maybe this person isn't going to be wrestling anymore. But does that open the door for John Cena to break his record? Because they'd be petty like that. But with Triple H in power, he loves Rick. I don't know if he would do something like that.
I mean, it's not the real one. So who cares?
I don't know. I forgot to check if they took the Woo out of the Then Now Forever gimmick. Did they do that? Probably not.
I think they did that a while ago. Is that a buy drink or?
It is. It's the cherry one. I got the Costco multi-pack. We have the coconut one. Not a big fan of the coconut flavors. I like the fruity flavors.
Oh, okay. All right. A little Fruit of the Loom. All right. Love and WWE is coming to Hulu. February 4th of next year. That is the reality series starring Bianca Belair and Montez Ford. Apparently, Disney and Hulu are going to become one streaming platform coming up next year. I hear.
Yeah, that kind of broke yesterday. Disney's owned Hulu for a while, but I guess now they're kind of merging into one big conglomerate, which as somebody who has Disney Plus but not Hulu, I'm fine with that.
I have
But
both.
also,
so,
they just raised the price for Disney Plus, so I would assume they're going to raise it again because now you're getting more stuff that I'm not going to watch.
I mean, you never know, bro. You never know. You never know. I mean, now
But
you can just go to Disney Hulu Plus for, or is it going
yeah,
to
I
be?
mean, they have that.
What's the name going to be?
I mean, they have the. It's probably just going to be Disney Plus because let's be honest, that has the cachet. Maybe they even folded into ESPN Plus as well, but going back to the show, it's fine. They don't have Total Divas, Total Bellas anymore, so WWE always likes to kind of have that reality show going. Surprise, we're not getting Roads to the Top again. We're not getting a spin off of that on Hulu or on some sort of WWE branded show.
I mean, what you call it? Carmella and Corey Graves had one, but it just aired on the WWE YouTube channel.
Shout out Carmella. She had her baby this morning or yesterday.
Congratulations. Do we have a name?
It's on Instagram. I don't have my phone on me right now, but I can pull it up real quick.
Well, now we have to go see because she posted it or Corey Graves posted it.
I think it's one of those like dual posts where they share the thing.
Okay, we need to start doing that. I like those. I do. I'm a fan of those. Carmella. Let's see.
I'm running Zoom at the same time, trying to not have my old ass computer blow up. Which
Dimitri is the child's name. Dimitri Paul Polinsky. Well, congratulations.
Shout out Dimitri, great player in backyard baseball, underrated.
Oh wow. 8 pounds, 21 inches. Congratulations to 60 hours of labor. Jesus Christ. Congratulations to them. That is wonderful. You love to see it. Logan Paul calls out Bad Bunny, apparently. Could we get Bad Bunny versus Logan Paul for the United States Championship?
I mean, that would be like a giant celebrity gimmick match. I mean, I don't know what that does to like the outside world of like what that does. Like, does anybody really care if Bad Bunny and Logan Paul actually have a match? But I mean, people care about their boxing matches, so maybe they kind of get something on that level. That would be definitely interesting, and it kind of is a nice heel babyface celebrity match.
Who leads? That's the real question, because I mean they've been in there with people who are traditional wrestlers and have done.
Well, I mean, it would have to be Logan Paul just because I would say he's kind of the more well-rounded. He's done it more, but then also, I don't know how well his Spanish is. I would assume they have like a Spanish-speaking referee in there. Just the language barrier might be a little difficult unless they meticulously plan out the entire match.
That would be something. That's something. Wrestling's universal, man. I've been in the ring with R1. He's from France and very, very little English. But wrestling is universal, so you never know. You never know.
Hey, all those moves pretty much are all the same in every language.
Yeah. All right. Bryan Danielson calls out Okada. So Wrestle Kingdom, my birthday? Okada? Danielson? Will Danielson get hurt again?
We out to Tokyo?
I don't know about all that.
Okay.
But so, hey, look, listen. If there's an all expenses paid trip, then we out.
If New Japan won't give us, press passes for a San Jose show, we'll accept gracefully press passes to Wrestle Kingdom.
Yes, we will buy our flights, pay for our hotel, pay for our food. We will be there. Yeah, Wrestle Kingdom looks like it's shaping up. There's going to be a triple threat. What, Moxley, Dave Finlay, and who else?
And the champion, Will Ospreay.
For
the US UK championship, but then whoever is like the head of New Japan said they're gonna like rebrand it and do some sort of different match. So maybe we're gonna get like a New Japan, an IWGP International Championship or something. I don't know.
Or we just bring back the Intercontinental title and call it a day?
Maybe. I'd love for that to happen. But
Ospreay's contract apparently is up in February, so he'd be tweeting stuff at Seth Rollins. That's what I hear.
He's got a legendary wrestling agent, Barry Bloom, so he's going to try to get that money from whoever's going to pay him.
Could we be in a situation where WrestleMania 40 is Seth Rollins versus Will Ospreay?
I mean, quite possibly. I mean, now that the dust just kind of settled on TKO, Jay White, unfortunately, maybe he was, his contract was 1 year too early / too late to where he wasn't able to go to WWE, and now Will Ospreay might be the quote unquote lucky one, if you would say.
Rumors are
lucky signing with
swirling
WWE.
Rumors are swirling all around. There's all the CM Punk talk. People are still talking about Rock versus Roman. Could we be in an era in a few months where you have a WrestleMania that consists of Will Ospreay versus Seth Rollins, Rock versus Roman, CM Punk in the mix, and Jade Cargill? This is a crazy time. This is a crazy time in the business. It was a crazy time.
I would say the most likely one of those matches is a Jade Cargill match. Then probably Will Ospreay.
Young William make the jump.
I just don't see the Rock Roman match happening.
Why not?
And then Punk is kind of like 50-50.
Look, in a few weeks, we'll find out. In a few weeks, we will find out. All right, let's go to outside of the ring, ladies and gentlemen. Or not outside of the ring, fan mail. I'm sorry, people. And Bright AX, the Hall of Famer.
Mr. X, who day?
Will Kyrie join Damage Control or cause its downfall? I think the downfall is coming. It was nice when it started. It's time.
Yeah, talked a little bit about it in the recap, but if you haven't, go listen to it after this one. I could see it being kind of like a dissension of her and Io, maybe not being a full-blown tag team because I think they're kind of better apart, but them kind of being together and they break off a Damage Control.
Which company do you think has the best tag team division right now?
I mean, honestly, just kind of the two main ones, WWE and AEW. I don't think their tag division is super strong at the moment, but
I mean, there are other companies besides them, man. What's
I know, but I'm going to be honest right now. I'm not super locked in on a lot of other companies at the moment. Oh my Jesus Christ, I can't even.
I've seen clips from
This is terrible.
NWA. Looks like their stuff's going. I mean, Impact. They have a decent little tag.
Oh yeah, I'm terrible. I usually am terrible when people do this, but I completely blanked on who's the AEW tag team champions. It's Big Bill and Ricky Starks.
This goes to my point to just throw it on them. Was like, what?
I mean, it also goes to the fact that I haven't been really watching Collision that much because it's on Saturday and college football and other stuff's going on that day.
You don't have to watch it on Saturday. You can watch it on Sunday.
Well, I could, but then it's Sunday and that's NFL. It's a whole thing. And the next thing it's Monday.
Just watch while you're lying in the bed.
Well, I listen to podcasts.
Anyway, do you listen to this one?
Sometimes.
Wow. All right. With the joyful news that TNA wrestling moniker is returning, there has been suggestions by fans that the six-sided ring could be brought back for a one-off type pay-per-view situation. If so, and where would you like to see it? I don't know what Slammiversary, Bound for Glory, one of those big shows. I mean, the wrestlers have talked about how that six-sided ring was terrible to work in and it hurts. For a one-off pay-per-view, maybe they can deal with it. Just kind of up the pay given the harder the impact of the bumps. I've never been in a six-sided ring, so honestly, I can't tell you how that feels. But if it's a one-off thing, okay, I'm sure that'd be fine. Just don't have it all the time.
Yeah, I think if it has to be like a pay-per-view, maybe lean towards like Slammiversary because Bound for Glory is like their big show where there's gonna be a lot of blow-offs and things of that nature, or maybe even go like on a secondary, like a low-level pay-per-view, like No Surrender or whatever.
Destination X
to kind of entice people. Yeah, Destination X, something like that. So as you said, six-sided rings. These wrestlers have done four sides for forever. Then you just throw them into six sides. Like
maybe they do it at Hard to Kill. Maybe that's how they kick it off. You never know.
Yeah, but then if you do it with the first one, then people just expect it to be there all the time.
You just put over it's a one-time thing. What better way to bring back TNA than one night only with the six-sided ring? Just do it.
Break out all the stops. Bring back Clara Lynch.
Whoa, that's a cut. That's
like the last time I was watching it. TNA on the regular. So, that era, the Aces and Eights, Clara Lynch, AJ Styles stuff, that's all in my TNA wheelhouse, buddy.
when AJ Styles apparently had an affair with Dixie Carter.
Yep.
Ooh.
When Kaz and Daniels was trying to, blackmail him for some reason.
Daniels is walking around drinking apple teenies. Great stuff. Oh man. All right, Raw recap. War Games. War Games, as Adam Pearce said it, has officially been announced. After the main event of Rollins versus Zayn for the World Heavyweight title, which Rollins picked up the victory. We'll talk about that match after this. Pure Six brawl. Judgment Day came out there. Jey Uso comes to make the save. Then Cody comes to make the save. Pierce says, enough. You guys want to play games? You want to play games? All right, we can play games in War Games. So traditionally 4-on-4. Traditionally 5-on-5, I'm sorry. But it's going to be 4-on-4 War Games.
For now.
Yeah, for now. Cody finally gets to compete in the match that his father made famous. I know they tried to do their own thing with Blood and Guts over in AEW, but he didn't even get to compete in that. So this is nice. People have wanted it. Here it is. The match beyond is back.
Yeah, the announcement, a little corny with Adam Pearce just like, you guys want to play games, and just like kind of really drawing it out. But it's not a bloodline match, so it's a little bit different with the Judgment Day involved with kind of the medley of baby faces on the other side. I said for now, I would not be shocked if they add more people to this. I mean, Drew McIntyre had like just a fleeting appearance of him showing a lot of frustration about him losing the title. Maybe he joins up. A lot of rumors and innuendo. Maybe Randy Orton showing up. So maybe you do Drew McIntyre as the fifth guy for Judgment Day, and then you go into it being a mystery, and then everyone's gonna just say CM Punk or Randy Orton as that last person. So maybe you do something like that.
And but it's somebody completely different.
That would be great too. It's Otis. Just bring Otis randomly. Not even Chad Gable, just Otis.
It can't be CM Punk. He's under the devil mask.
Exactly. But we're kind of getting back to, with this at least, we're getting back to kind of the calendar events, which I'm not like the biggest fan of, because it's kind of like you're booking, around that instead of booking towards it. But I think they've done a good job.
Yeah, this one calls for it. I mean, but like, can we get at least a traditional Survivor Series match on this thing? I mean, teams of 5.
Honestly, I was listening to a podcast, Rich Fan, shout out, you met Rich Fan back in Las Vegas. He was talking about when's like the last like really great Survivor Series tag team match, and I was like,
2014.
He was saying, I was like, yeah, I guess that one, but he was even going farther back at like the Austin Bischoff one. But the Sting return with Ziggler, making the last gas, I think is probably like the best one, and that's damn near 10 years at this point.
Yeah. I mean, we could do something like we could have one with LWO and Lashley and the Profits, because it seems like they're intertwined. But with the War Games, man, I still think you do Rhea kind of in that Roman role of, because I know she's gonna wrestle Zoe Stark. Spoiler alert, if you didn't know, for the women's title at Survivor Series. Have her in the chair, have her conducting business. You know what I'm saying? Damian wants to go out, she stops him, sends out JD or something like that. I think that could be nice.
I mean, you can do something like that, but usually when they have a wrestler going on before, because I would assume this is going to be the main event, they're not going to do something later in the show, kind of like that. Unless she just,
it's the Judgment Day. They're in,
yeah, but I'm just like, unless she just like kind of dispatches of Zoe Stark, which I'm not writing out. I would not be shocked if that happens, but usually she's probably going to be like selling something after the match.
Yeah, no, should be all right. Seth getting cashed in on after this.
Well, I mean, if he was going to cash in on him in that like kind of run of the mill match at Blood Money, I guess he should cash in on him at War Games.
War Games. Should we have had Nick Aldis yell War Games? I mean, he's British.
I mean, he is British. He's got kind of like a different, because what? Where's Nick Aldis from? I am not well versed in
Wales.
I'm not well versed in British.
Kingston. He's from Kingston. That's right.
No idea where that is. Close to Blackpool, but
why can't William Regal appear on television?
Probably because he signed something with Tony Khan, just being like, you can go there, but just don't be on television. Probably.
They have to wait out some deal. Okay. What do you think of Rollins and Zayn for the world title?
Really saw when a long time, ended in a roll up. So, Sammy's not hurt. They might go back to it eventually, but like I said, with like the Roman and LA Knight thing, I don't think there's like any shame in like losing like a straight up match like that. But it's two baby faces. They kind of like to fall back on a roll up type finish. Because I don't think they're going to go back to that like anytime soon in terms of like a full fledged feud. But that's what they did. And maybe it kind of sets up the brawl afterwards, so it's not like Sami Zayn's dead, and it set up the even 4-on-4 fight.
It did. Zoe Stark becomes the number one contender. She won a battle royal. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
coming at it.
No, keep going.
Go ahead. No, you keep going.
Oh, Xia Li attacked Becky Lynch.
Oh, yes, she did. So no Becky, Becky ain't getting a belt back, but Zoe Stark being the number one contender, I like it. This match isn't like, built around her. It's not like a big deal for the women's division or for Rhea Ripley, but it is a test for her. Since, departing, breaking up with Trish Stratus, she hasn't really shown much and hasn't really been asked to do much. So, she comes into that match, has a good showing, quick turnaround in like 2 weeks. So you can't like get too much meat on the bone there, but it's going to be a big test for her. I kind of think she's just there to get beat relatively easily, but we'll have to see.
Speaking of Trish Stratus, she was at the Iron Claw premiere.
Love to see it.
The Miz, number one contender for the IC title. Miz pulling out moves like he's 2015 John Cena. What is this?
Well, I mean, just like John Cena, the Miz is breaking out the moves to kind of show that he can wrestle now that he's a babyface. They're really going with this. It didn't really work last time they tried outside of the little feud they had with Shane. But
no, they tried. They've tried twice before. The 2014 run, the one with Shane, that one actually worked. Yeah. So third time's a charm. We'll see.
We'll see. Similar to Starks, it's just a match for Gunther to win, and I don't think he's going to go too far in the other direction, because I would not be shocked if, we're heading to Royal Rumble and the Miz is doing the same, Miz shtick he normally does. He ended up on the crowd.
You never know, man. I mean, we tell the story if he's chasing that to tie the record. It's all about records nowadays. Roman with the records and Gunther the record, and Gunther's been champion for 79% of his WWE career. That's crazy. Longest reigning UK champion of all time. That title's gone. So that record's intact. Longest reigning IC champ. He's just breaking all these records. I love it.
Well, he's a big boy. He's a good boy.
No, he's a big boy. AEW 8.
Yep, that happened. Last week both me and Philip were, I'd say rightfully so, very harsh on Dynamite, but I thought this week was a much better show. It's not saying much compared to last week.
You did? You know what I thought about Dynamite? You know what I thought about Dynamite?
What did you think about Dynamite, Philip?
Thought there were things that I actually liked.
Yep, it was much better than last week, mainly because they weren't doing that hokey stuff with the Acclaim and MJF. But speaking of MJF, they kicked the show off, doing some opening promos and Adam Cole FaceTiming, and my boy looking like a grizzled young vet out there. He's got the scraggly beard, got some grays in it. Get well soon, Adam. But we get a random AEW title defense between MJF and Daniel Garcia, also just making a complete mockery of the whole thing, because MJF, who is the champion, defending the championship, doesn't even have the physical title. But shout out to Taz, I digress. Good match. MJF wins, kind of going back down the road of, is Daniel Garcia a sports entertainer or a wrestler? And I think it just kind of reminds us where he was a year ago when they were flirting with that. And he was like not super duper hot, but he was getting some good reaction, and people were kind of into him. And now we've gone down this road of him doing his little air hump dance, and just people have completely cooled down on him.
I mean, his dance is still over. Like we may be in the building tomorrow night for Rampage and Collision, and I guarantee however many people in that building are going to be hitting that thing. Can you hit it? Let me see. Can you?
Now more of a Prince Nana swerve when I drive type of guy.
All right, let me see it. No, but hit the Daniel Garcia. It's just me here. You gotta hit that.
You gotta get up on the chair. Just
Hey, whoa! Put that thing away. Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, there are
You know,
kids.
sweat. It's sweat season.
Hey,
Anyways,
good match.
yeah, good match. Trying to think of anything. Like the MJF Jay White thing was kind of just sprinkled throughout the show. I thought Jay White had a really good promo. I think one of the stupidest things I've ever seen on a television is MJF, cutting a promo and citing his Google Trend numbers as a reason why he's a great wrestler. Just who gives a crap about that stuff? Also, I don't know if you saw this, but I guess at a house show, Ricochet cut a promo the same day on that Saturday when Blood Money was going on. He cut a promo talking to the crowd. He's like, you know what, guys, I'm not that big of a star, but I'm happy to be here and give you guys a great show or something like that. I'm like, oh, buddy, what are you doing? Don't say that.
He's a big star. He has Samantha Irvin.
That's what I'm saying. He said himself he's not that big of a star compared to the other guys over in Saudi Arabia. I'm like, what are you saying, buddy? Like,
Ricochet, you went to Saudi Arabia and lost to Brock Lesnar, brother. You're a star, all right? Swerve and Penta, this was good. This was very good.
Yeah, just really solid match. Once again, Penta losing, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but I've come to grips a while ago that a Penta is not going to be the top tier main event level guy that I think he can be.
He lost his aura, man. I mean, there was this is the way he used to walk out to the ring, man. Like watching those old impacts and even out here when he'd come to APW and wrestle Cody Rhodes and guys like that. Like it was just this aura he had about him when he would come to the ring, man.
It's kind of lost. I mean, it's still kind of there when him and Phoenix are in like a big tag match, but when it's just him in a singles match, especially like kind of this type of match, just thrown together on a Dynamite, and it sucks, but it's kind of where we are right now. Then after the match, they made a big deal that Hangman was banned from ringside during the match. Then once the match ends, then Hangman attacks Swerve with a chair, and once again, poor Hangman cannot catch a break because they're doing an angle with Swerve in the Pacific Northwest in Portland. So Hangman is just wailing on Swerve after he broke into his house and talked to his infant child, and the crowd is booing Hangman.
Hey, beggars can't be choosers.
Yeah. Speaking of Hangman's friends, at least I think they're friends. The Young Bucks, they interrupt a Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho promo, hyping up their street fight they're going to have next week, which that's just kind of happening. I mean, they kind of plugged it a little bit with kind of like a cool little, integration with a wrestling or some sort of video game that they're releasing or something like that. But we're going to be getting Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho against the Young Bucks at Full Gear. So kind of a strange match. Yeah, kind of like a strange dream match of sorts. Young Bucks definitely are kind of on the verge of turning heel. But once again, it's in LA. Pay-per-view crowd. I don't know what kind of traveling crowd AEW is going to be getting for pay-per-views that much anymore. Especially
you're going to get people all the way from Pasadena.
Yep, and maybe one from San Lorenzo, but we'll have to wait and see about that. Yeah, it's kind of strange, but well, I mean, if Chris Jericho wasn't in this match, I think it'd be a really good match. I don't know what Jericho's physical, what his physical capabilities are at this point to kind of keep up with the Bucks.
And still do a lion salt. He's fine.
They'll work around him. It's not going to be super crazy like the Hangman Kenny matches, but it'll probably be good.
It's
fine. We got Samoa Joe defending his ROH title against Keith Lee after 500 plus days.
This was good. Longest reigning champ.
Haven't defended it on ROH television since like June or something. Samoa Joe gets on the mic and is like, yeah, I don't need this anymore. I'm done. I relinquish it. MJF, I'm coming for that ass.
Yep. I mean, Samoa Joe, longest reigning television champion of all time in Ring of Honor, defeats Keith Lee. I thought this was good. And he said, enough is enough. I came here to be the AEW champion, not the ROH TV champion. I'm coming for you, Maxwell. Yeah.
I know there are like some people that were kind of angry at this, but I mean, you know me. I'm just like, I'm done with ROH. So any which way to kind of get ROH off of AEW television, I'm all for, to be honest. So
Yeah. Well, you didn't talk about Red Velvet and Julia Hart, brother. Why isn't that on the script?
I'm sorry I missed out the obligatory hour 25 spot of the women's match, but yes, Julia Hart beats Red Velvet. Red Velvet
With the
returns, I guess.
with the moonsault.
With a moonsault, shout out. We also had a black and white contract signing backstage with a timeless Tony Storm and Hikaru Shida.
The only timeless person I know is Levi Shapiro.
Staying in the women's division, what the hell's her name? Maddie May or something. She signed with AEW, and they're doing some sort of like super fangirl angle, possibly with Tony Storm. So, I mean, adding her into the Tony Storm universe could be interesting. So stay on the lookout for that. Then main event time, Jay White takes on Mark Briscoe. And I thought this was the issue with kind of the two bookend matches of they kind of had their spots on the line for Full Gear. And we know they're not going to change the Full Gear main event to Daniel Garcia versus Mark Briscoe.
Maybe they should have swerved us and did it.
Or you can just not have those stipulations on, or have like a different stipulation to where
or swerve us and do it. Maybe it should.
There's too many swerves, bro.
Maybe it should have been Mark Briscoe versus MJF. Just saying.
I thought Mark Briscoe cut a good promo, in during the show. I mean, it was just straightforward, saying he's known Jay White since he was a boy when he was on his excursion, and he's gonna beat his ass and take that title from him, or take the championship. Can't say championship opportunity because that's WWE Colt speak. Championship title match, whatever. Who cares? But who cares? Jay White wins anyways. Then we cut promo between him and MJF, blah, blah, blah. And then the final scene, we get the Devil's Goons attacking the Acclaim, throws Anthony Bowens through some sugar glass. And then we get the Devil Mask pop in and out, and MJF runs to help, and Samoa Joe just laughs in his face like, oh, well, if you had some protection, maybe this wouldn't have happened. So,
yeah.
There it is.
That was
also didn't put it on the sheet. Ass Boys, Gun Boys, they had a squash match with the Bollywood Brothers. I thought they looked fantastic. It was just like literally they hit their finishing move, and that was it, and they cut a promo afterwards. I thought they looked great. I'm big fans of the Gun Boys right now.
The Ass Boys?
Ass Boys, Gun Brothers, Austin and Colton.
Man. No. I love it. I love it. No, really? No.
And this was karaoke night.
Wow. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna do it for us. We got through everything in a nice amount of time. That's what I like, man. That's really what I like. Moving on from that, a lot of stuff going on in the Bay this weekend, or a lot of things Oasis related going on in the Bay this weekend. Pull up Oasis Pro Year 1, Gilman Brewery this Saturday, 6 p.m. Meet and greets at 5:30. Doors for the show is at 6. Meet and greets at 5:30. On part of the meet and greet, come see a lot of your favorite Oasis talents. Jordan Blue will be at the meet and greet. We got Victor Von Richter versus Cliff Hendricks, Beatrice Domino versus La Bruja, Abigail Warren, Parisi versus Jay Boozy. The King of New York is coming back. You have a Pure Rules match, Alonzo Alvarez versus Loverboy Leo. You also have Los Ricos going up against South Pacific Savages, and probably the most Bay Area NorCal match of all time, Jacob Fatu versus Levi Shapiro versus Dark Sheik versus Starboy Charlie. But before that, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., $12.75 at the Oasis Pro Dojo. Entry fee is $50 for the Oasis Pro tryout. If you've ever had a dream of being a pro wrestler, manager, referee, commentator, come pull up. Start, man. Make the dream into reality. Manifest it. Brandon, we won't see you there.
I don't know. You might not see me there. Maybe somebody else would be there, and maybe they'll get a little scholarship ski and catapult themselves in a superstardom.
Oh, who is this? Do you have source?
The Tyler Gunderson.
Who's that?
You have to wait and see.
Okay, all right. Also, Oasis Pro, Eli's Mile High Club, Sunday. I'm not sure of the time. Look, keep out for my social media and Oasis's social media. We're doing another bar
the
brawl
bullet cast,
pull-up.
fearless.
This should be fun. This should be a
The
lot of
bullet
fun.
cast,
Thank you guys so
fearless.
much as always.
The bullet cast, fearless. Elite podcasting. We are the bullet cast now, fearless. The bullet cast now, fearless. Elite podcasting. No, we on elite podcasting. No, we on.
This has been the Bulletcast. Thank you for listening.